life.
Alright, so I'm gonna ask the important question about: do we feel kids these days are getting too brave? Obviously, we've been talking about it. There's been things going out in the press. You know, youngsters. The London riots took place.
That was positive.
Last year. What do we feel? What do we feel about young kids these days? What's our opinions on it?
I don't understand how adults have become so fucking pussy nowadays. Adults are fucking scared of kids. I find it ridiculous. Let me drop you one scenario right now. I remember I was on a night bus one time now, and I was high as fuck. And when I'm high as fuck, I'm just thinking about the universe, I'm contemplating shit, I'm contemplating life. I don't really want to be bothered to the point of having to stop fights and having to stop people from being robbed. 3 youths come on the bus, and me, I kind of consider myself quite a decent judge of character. As soon as I saw these youths come on the bus, instantly my radar flipped off and I was like, yeah, they're onto something. Anyway, so I stopped my thinking and shit, I was thinking of stopping the scenario. 2 minutes later, they're trying to rob everyone within the vicinity, and there's about 3 black people on the bus. So these young kids of colour are thinking, let me just rob up all these white people on the bus, yada yada yada. No fucking adult is saying anything apart from me. And I'm like, yo, are you not fucking serious? There's 3 12-year-olds, no one's saying shit apart from me, and you're all just facing the front as if nothing's happening. And these kids are going from one person to the other saying, yo, what's up? I like your phone. And motherfuckers ain't saying shit. But my thing is just that, just don't be scared, man. It's like, there's nothing to be scared about. And I think we could just try and bridge the gap between like adults and like youngers even more, and just try and just understand the generations a bit so we can learn from each other. Because yeah, man, it feels a bit messed up when an adult can't even like talk to a youngin. It feels even weird that adults can't even talk to adults now. So it's like, if an adult can't even talk to an adult, how do you fucking expect an adult to talk to a youngin? Adults are too fucking pussy. Even if you're a fucking pussy adult, my thing is join up in numbers. Make that be the fucking thing that makes you look brave or whatever the fucking scenario is. So yeah, adults are too fucking pussy.
I agree. I have no problem saying this, yeah? And people are gonna hate me for saying it. If a 15-year-old on the bus rails his mouth up at me and tries to take something, I'm gonna punch him so hard in his face. I will punch him so hard in his face, he remembers that shit for the rest of his life. I swear to God, I don't care if you're old enough to fucking to approach a grown man and try and rob them or try and pick a fight for whatever reason. If you're old enough to do that, then you're gonna get the shit kicked out of you. And
I approach it differently.
Because you know what? Your parents should have smacked the shit out of you when you tried that shit.
Yeah,
I approach it differently. See, I don't really know.
Yeah.
One thing when it comes to young people, when I be a youth worker, one thing I've always tried to appreciate is that we only see the end product. I'm not saying we should accept that, but I only see the end product. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what's happened previously. So my whole thing is I just ignore them. When kids try to say anything to me, I just ignore them. The moment they say something positive, I'm on it, and I'm like, is it? Okay, let me hear. If they say anything about, yeah, I beat bear gal, I do this, I sell drugs, whatever, I don't really care. The moment you say something where I feel like if I like show you a little bit of attention within that area, you could potentially grow and prosper into a good individual, I'll give you enough credit for it.
Help the youth. Understand that they're going through problems just like we go through problems. Let's not label them. Let's not label them as criminals. Label them as, I don't know, just all the things that people in society likes to label them as. I think we should be helping the young people, and anytime they do something positive, we should focus on that one aspect of what they're doing and just try and strengthen them within that area instead of scrutinizing them for every single other thing. My brother tells me anything done, so he knows I won't care. The moment he says to me, yeah, I've got this, because he does poetry, because yeah, I've got this opportunity to go to a massive poetry class, or so I'm like, well done, I'm proud of you, and I encourage him within that department. I don't feel a lot of young people get them opportunities. They're just always shown attention when they do something negative. And they probably like the attention. They never get attention at home. So all they do is things negative just to get attention. So I feel sorry for them.
I think it's the parents' fault though, because whose job is it to really look after your child, teach them manners, tell them what's right and what's wrong? Like, to be honest,
yeah, some of these parents work too. Like both the parents have to work to look after the kids. So they're probably coming home like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Both parents coming home quite late. Then the kids, where they've been probably youth clubs, so on and so forth, come home, have to look after themselves. Then the parents have to get themselves ready for bed. They probably don't have the opportunities to look after their child, but they're trying to financially support them. So I feel sorry for them.
Some parents aren't actually fit to be parents. Yeah, that's a big proportion of this. But I agree with what Paul is saying.
I agree.
Yeah, in terms of like the end product, in terms of like when you get kids that are just like,
it's not your God-given right to have kids.
Disenfranchised. When you get kids like that, yeah, for me it's that. You can't necessarily school them or be a fucking therapist and shit because you ain't fucking qualified. But my thing is that you gotta stop them from thinking they run shit. That's my thing. Because I get what you're saying. Like, how they ended up like this, there's a reason.
No,
there's causality to this shit.
I agree.
But you can't let them think they run this shit.
This is what I was saying. If I react a certain way and I get treated a certain way, if it happens 10 times and I get the same response, I probably won't remember the 10 people. But the first person to do something different to the way in which I react, I'm gonna remember them. So all I always try and think is like, I wonder how these young people have been treated throughout their whole life. I'm gonna show them the complete opposite. I'm not saying like I'm not saying a punch in the face might make them go, whoa, I ain't doing that again. It could be anything, but my approach is always gonna be something that makes them go, do you know what it is though,
bro? You have to take responsibilities for your own actions, yeah? And I understand, innit? I understand why things get to where they got to. And what you said before about what Huggy said before about the riots. Part of me, I agree with. There was a positive within it because I think anytime you've had like a fuck reaction, when a reaction happens and makes people take notice, it's a positive thing. Yeah? I don't necessarily think that everything that happened within the riots is positive, but I think the fact that if you fucking stab a dog for long enough through a cage, eventually that dog's gonna rip your hand off in it. And I think it's a positive that dog rips your hand off because it lets you know to stop fucking stabbing the dog. Most reactions have had an initial action, and you know, kids didn't turn like this overnight. At the same time, you have to take responsibility for your actions, and I know what some young people are capable of. If a child, like a teenager talks to me or approaches me in a way that he's behaving like a grown-up, I'm gonna deal with him in the same way.
That's what I think I hate about society. Adults try and control young people based upon fear. And when you realise there's nothing to be afraid of, you're gonna do what you want. I feel, as an adult, people should respect me and I should respect them. And once there's that mutual respect, they're gonna be like, do you know what, I'm not gonna do that out of respect for that individual. In opposed to, I'm afraid of him, then you do something to test the fear, you realise that he's a wanker, you beat him up, you're like, I'm not even afraid of him anymore, I'll just disrespect him.
But sometimes the fear works. Think about how, like, I'm gonna talk for myself, my dad's African, and my mum's Bulgarian, but so my white side of me never really touched me. Well, I know once you said, I'm gonna tell your dad, that's it. I think when we want to start solving things, we need to start looking at the hierarchy and the status quo, because that's what's the big deal is. Because David Cameron, what he's trying to do now, he's trying to make the rich richer, make the poor poorer, just like Margaret Thatcher did. And I think that's where the problem is, because they're creating such a divide now that you're going to get people acting out because they don't have no money. He's cutting benefits, like people have to start working and they're disabled. So I think there's a lot of a bigger and deeper issue. Like, you can't just go straight on like with the kids, because I don't think it's directly the kids' fault. It's society we're living in now.
Yeah, but you know what? You're quite young. That happened to my cousin. I'm from Jamaican background. I've seen my cousin get picked up and slapped. The moment you hit about 25 as a man, no, sorry about this, Snitch. You 25 as a man. That doesn't become intimidating no more. My dad used to try and beat me now. You reckon I give a fuck if my dad wasn't hit me? Or I don't give a shit about any of that. So it has to be built upon respect. Because all the teachers I remember some of my teachers by their first name. Why? I had so much respect for them. They would take out the time within their day after work and sit down and talk to me. And that made a huge impact on me.
Like, it comes down to more importantly about role models and who do young kids look up to as a role model. Teachers don't seem to be kids' role models these days, and for me, I feel like that's important because some of my role models at the time were people who were teachers, people who did show love, and people who believed in you to achieve what you wanted to go out there and achieve. And I feel like it's a massive issue that needs taking on, man.
When did that kind of like respect between like the youngers and the olders kind of
when you were exposed to more? Do you know, as a youngster, when I was young, there wasn't much computer, there wasn't anything really, it wasn't like bare things going on, so I wasn't really exposed to a lot. So I was kind of afraid of what I didn't know.
What are you exposed to that makes you think, you know, hold on a minute?
Because you see everything.
Respect this
because you know what, you probably find a story where in which you're like, oh, I'm not going to do this because if my parents don't beat me, for example, I'm not going to learn, or you probably think that's the way to be brought up. But once you jump on the internet and you see successful stories where individuals weren't beaten and so on and so forth, and you realise, wait, I don't have to be treated like this in order for me to excel, it makes you realise that, no, what you're doing is wrong. So then all of a sudden, you become to educate yourself more. I'm being honest with you. Once you're educated and you're not ignorant, I feel like you can achieve so much more. And I think some of these young people are actually a little bit more educated than we give them credit for. We try to belittle them, we try to control them on fear, and they're like, do you know what? One, I'm better at computers than you, I'll probably make more money than you, why should I look at you this? Do you understand where I'm coming from? I know little kids, 18, 19-year-olds, I say to adults, look at you, you don't even make money.
Okay, so then how do you get youngsters to respect adults then?
How do you get youngsters to give them something to respect?
But if
people are looking up to individuals that are not respect, like I don't respect certain people in and around me.
Okay, but give that example of people on the bus. They had no reason not to respect those people.
They don't know, but
They're respecting the wrong adults though. The problem is that a lot of these kids are respecting the wrong adults. If you could bring someone who's known to have caught 3 or 4 bodies to any estate, and every kid will, oh yeah, nah, respect that.
Do you know what? And
you know what? Bring someone that's cured cancer and saved lives, or bring someone that's positive.
But Snips, it's the classroom period there. 3 out of the 10 will respect them.
Yeah.
And then the others will join in because there's nobody else.
Yeah.
But I promise you, and this is not me blowing my own trumpet, I don't have one. If I go back to my estate, I am respected. People may not like me, people may not want to speak to me, but I promise you, in my estate, I am fucking respected, and I don't.
No, you're gonna get a million people.
I was gonna say.
It's true, I'm respected.
The floodgates now.
I mean, I'm saying to you, if more individuals went back, for example, little things like I go back to my estate, I might talk to the young people. I might play, I might do anything, I don't know, I might just go back there and just have a chat with them. More people that go back to the places in which they were grown up and give back something to the community that they once were, once were part of, more respect will be given.
But you know what?
This
is a problem. This is a problem with our country. You know, this is a problem with our country. Because see, in this country, people love to fucking hate. People don't embrace success.
No, they don't.
Like, they love to hate. If you go to the States and you see people that have made it, they come back to where they're from and people embrace them and they show love. People don't do that here.
People don't even call the people that they used to once talk to anymore.
I don't think there's nothing to struggle here. That's why I don't think there's nothing.
The struggle's made up.
Yeah, because that's what's saying.
Like,
where did you really come from? You didn't start from no bottom to get anywhere that we have to be like, we have to parade you or herald you as some fucking hero. You didn't really come from no dirt.
I agree.
Apart from if you came from another country.
You can sign on to get money, you can go to the hospital and get flipping taken care of for free. There's so many privileges in this country, and they try and fabricate this whole struggle. Oh, you know what I've been through. You need to go Brazil. Brazil was the worst. I see bedrooms about as big as where the cameras were.
When I went to Nigeria, fuck my head up. I went to Nigeria, fuck my head up. Like, wow, motherfuckers talk about struggle here. Nah, it's not a struggle.